gentlemen, we'll get ready to bring our meeting to order. City Council for the April 28th, 2025, 7 p.m. City Council meeting. At this time, I'll ask the city clerk to call the roll of the council.
The Honorable Mayor Pro Tem Alex Heath.
Present.
Honorable Linda J. Davis.
Present.
The Honorable Samantha Hudson.
Present.
The Honorable Hattie Portis Jones.
Present.
The Honorable Ulysses J. Smallwood.
Present.
Honorable James Whitmore.
Present.
Mr. Mayor, you have a quorum.
Okay, at this time, I'd like to ask for Pastor Ingrid Thompson for Harvest Rain International. Please come forward. Everyone that can, please stand with my invocation.
Can never have everyone to bow their heads in prayer. Father, we come before your presence tonight, Lord, just giving you glory, honor, and praise. We thank you, Father, that you are the God that is in control of all things. And so we thank you for your service that you have entrusted to oversee the works of Fairburn, Lord. We thank you for the Honorable Mayor Avery and for the Honorable City Council men and women that are here tonight. We pray for the wisdom of Almighty God to lead and guide and direct them. Father, you said that if we lack wisdom, just to ask. And Father, you would give it to us, Lord God. And so we're asking for wisdom to make every decision, to be led, Lord God, by you, and every decision that they make for the good of this city and the good of the people of Fairburn. Lord, we give you praise, honor, and glory for what you're going to do tonight. And it's in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, at this point, Chief, you have a presentation.
We have a presentation from the Fairburn Police Department, an intern presentation.
Okay.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I'm before you tonight to present this young lady. She'll be graduating college from Kennesaw State University next month in May. She completed a 150-hour internship with the police department, so we want to bring her here, present her with this certificate, and give her an opportunity to talk about her experience.
Good evening, Mayor Avery, Council, citizens. First, my name is Layla Hood. As was said, I'm graduating from Kennesaw State University with a major in criminal justice and a minor in sociology with aspirations to become a lawyer. And I would say first I want to thank Chief Bazildo and his staff first for giving me the opportunity to be an intern at Fairburn Police Department. And while there, I was able to learn, I would say, like a magnitude of things, from the everyday actions of a police officer to being in the CID department with the detectives, the front office clerks, some of the ladies in the front at the police department. And I was just able to see like a different side of things, I would say, because especially in the climate we're in now, like a lot of things are said, but a lot of things aren't seen and acted. So when you're in the passenger seat of a police officer's car and it's just a regular, police stop, like it's a lot that goes into that from the decisions they make on a daily basis. So I would say, I hope that I take everything that I learned and I've been learning over this short but very meaningful spring semester into all my endeavors in the future. And I just want to say thank you again for the opportunity.
Awesome.
Can you give me the first name again? Layla Hood?
Thank you. Congratulations. Members of council, here before you, the adoption of the city council agenda is printed. Is there a motion to adopt?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor say aye.
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 All opposed? That motion carries. At this time, we'll go to our city public
Mr. Mayor,
comment.
can you speak in the mic, please?
Oh.
Pull your mic.
At this point, we'll go to a public comment. How many speakers do we have?
We have two.
30 minutes shall be given to the speakers. In this case, however, each speaker was limited to 3 minutes. However, each speaker may transfer his 3 minutes to another speaker, but no speaker shall speak for more than 6. If more than 10, we don't have 10, so we've got 2. So we'll stay down at 3 minutes. And so in this case, issues raised at this general time will be referred to the city administrator. Responses will be provided at a later date. Please excuse me for that chest cold. At this point, can you go ahead and call our first speaker?
Mr. Lee Walton.
Good evening, Mayor and Council.
Hey, sir. There you go.
I think I may be the opening act for Ernie, so I'll try to do that justice. I first want to thank Chief Bizidlo for just continuing excellent work in the city as police chief. It's wonderful to see a presentation of an intern, and I just know that that's overall a difficult job. He's got wonderful officers supporting him. I didn't intend to come up and say that, but it just struck me. And so first and foremost, thanks to the chief, and thanks for your support for him and all of our public safety professionals here. I don't yet have a Save the Courthouse t-shirt, but I will be looking towards that so that I don't have to necessarily make that verbal request every time I speak. But I would like to, again, point attention to the needs of the courthouse renovation, hopes for moving forward with that process, excitement for the vision that was struck late last year. Glad to see landscaping improvements, and just hoping for continued improvements as we go forward. And I do recognize that there was a need and intent for more public involvement about that. I wholeheartedly agree, and I hope that as we continue through the comprehensive plan process, that maybe there's an opportunity to inject courthouse discussion into that and get opinion on the courthouse from the many people who are showing up at the comprehensive plan meetings, which is the real reason I came to speak tonight. Is thanks again and commendation for the staff and the consultants running the comprehensive plan process. The meeting Thursday night last week was a great success, great turnout. Thanks to Landmark for hosting that meeting, but really a lot of energy in the room. There's a lot of vitality about that process. And we are learning things as we go through. And I'm on the steering committee, and I have a lot of experience with city planning, but I don't take it for granted this process is going on. In the meeting Thursday night, many of us were informed for the first time that there is proposal for a major warehouse industrial development, not in the city of Fairburn, but directly adjacent to the city limits of Fairburn on Spence Road on Highway 92, just before the bridge over I-85. The proposal is for 2 million square feet of industrial warehouse space, nearly 1,000 parking spaces, all very heavy truck oriented. This is in the city of South Fulton. It's gone through the DRI process that I think you're all familiar with. It received a final letter just a week ago from ARC and Greta out of that DRI process, clearing it to start going, or to apparently continue going through the city of South Fulton process towards rezoning and approval. So many of us neighbors who are concerned are starting the process of making the community aware of this and of the importance of communicating community voice to the city of South Fulton. And I encourage you to do whatever you can as leaders in Fairburn to assist citizens of Fairburn in this concern. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. The next speaker.
Ernie Brooks.
Good evening, y'all, again.
Good evening.
I was asked to bring this up at this meeting. In reference to the courthouse. There's an interest in having a hotel Fairburn, and if we could get two birds with one stone, so to speak, and incorporate the courthouse parking wouldn't be a problem because we already have downtown parking on that side. And if we could have a little, I think it's called a boutique, if, you know, we could incorporate, they moved the courthouse, my understanding, from the old river out there in, used to be Campbell County, and they moved the courthouse. So they could move the courthouse up front and also repair the courthouse and put a little small hotel. I believe there's enough room, but anyway, I was asked to mention that at this meeting, and I know that you probably can't do anything, but anyway, there's that. I hope you got my email concerning the, and I have to apologize because I left a word out in my first notation here, agenda. The agenda was published on Wednesday prior to the Thursday meeting. And it says that, you know, so anyway, there's some discrepancies, and if you receive my email, then you see what my concern is. There's 10 houses proposed, townhouses, from Cole Street to what is named Milo Fisher. It's actually Pine Street. So there's 10 according to the slide. So I'm concerned about slide 63 that's showing that. And, you know, I mean, I don't know if eminent domain to get rid of me, but, you know, I've lived a lot of places, and give me a heads up so I can get a nice, decent price for my little piece of property before I go to the old folks' home. I'd also like to say we were fed really good. I didn't get enough because they ran out of plates. And just to share with you, I ran into Miss Brookins one time at the Green Manor, and we were both getting something to go, and I offered to buy her meal, and she refused. She said, "Oh, no, you ain't gonna catch me in some stuff." And the lady, the cashier man, said, "Go on and get your blessing." And she said, "Oh, no, it wouldn't be a blessing, it'd be a curse because I can't do that." So I thought, you know, I was somewhat slighted. I thought, oh my God, you know, I'm trying to play it forward, you know, and help a fellow citizen out. And so then I read that it would be entirely illegal for her to take anything from a citizen in her possession. So I did apologize and tell her about that. And so anyway.
Sir, yeah.
Have I gone over 3 minutes, sir?
Yes,
You know, I could go on, but I'd just like to say, if I could before I go,
Thank you.
they smile in your face. Oh, the OJs, huh? Money, 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 huh? Hey, let's stay
All right, sir.
focused on
Appreciate you.
the citizens.
All right, sir, thank you. Members of council, you have before you the approval of the city council minutes that commenced on April the 14th, 2025. Is there a motion?
So moved.
So moved.
Okay. Motion's been made and properly second. All in favor say aye.
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 All opposed? That motion carries.
First item is the mini storage depot, 156 Jonesboro. It is a request for mayor and council approval of the final plat for the mini storage depot located at 156 Jonesboro Road, Fairburn, Georgia.
Mr. Brooks, thank you for the intro. The property in question is located at 156 Jonesboro Road. Is a request for a final plat. The item is just a final plat. The applicant was required to do some infrastructure improvements, some transportation improvements, and so that increased the right-of-way, and they're just trying to recognize that increase in the right-of-way.
Okay. Members of council, you have before you a mini storage at depot at 156 Jonesboro Road for a final plat. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any comments by council?
Just have a few
Yes, ma'am.
comments.
Go ahead, ma'am.
So for this, was a traffic impact assessment conducted for the increased use of the adjacent roads due to this development?
This was before my time, but I do believe there was some analysis of transportation related to it, yes.
Okay, if you can find that and provide that for council, that will be helpful.
Will do.
Have adjacent property owners been notified or raised any objections to this final plat?
No.
Okay. And of course, it complies with all our previous zoning and development conditions imposed?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Any other members of council? Seeing none? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? That motion carries.
Next item is a request for mayor and council approval of a resolution to adopt the Livable Centers Initiative Gateway Connectivity Study Report.
Good evening, Mayor and Council.
Good evening.
Good evening.
First, what I'd like to do is just go an overview of the LCI as presented as an agenda item. It was brought to our attention this afternoon regarding some edits that we are working on with the final report. So we will seek this evening approval of the LCI report with those edits. Okay. So the LCI, the purpose of the Fairburn LCI Gateway Connectivity Study, it was to enhance the transportation infrastructure and connectivity within the Fairburn community by identifying key areas of improvement and proposing actionable solutions. The study sought a more accessible, efficient, and sustainable transportation network and support economic social vitality of Fairburn. The final report compiles activities related to the tactical study in providing data, market analysis, deliverables, and a 100-day plan to implement. Just a brief history, the Gateway Connectivity Study that we worked on was informed by the LCI Downtown Master Plan. So any recommendations for housing began with that LCI Downtown Master Plan study. Any recommendations for the forms or the types of housing were informed by the LCI Downtown Master Plan study. Just to recap, the LCI Downtown Master Plan study included comprehensive public involvement and engagement, meaning that the residents were shown diverse styles of housing that would be appropriate for the downtown area. And from that, they were given 3 to 4 options. They selected the options that were best, what they felt were best suited for the community, maintaining the character, spaces, as well as the historic preservation ordinance that we have in place. With that said, the Gateway study, when it comes to the residential housing portion, builds upon that study. So any recommendations were basically building upon that downtown master plan. The goal of this study, of course, is revitalizing our downtown. We recognize that it is precept upon precept, so to speak. We can't have one without the other. We can't have the amenities that we all desire without responsible growth in the downtown area. We can't have the accessibility and mobility without the road improvements and network improvements. So the facts in terms of the LCI Gateway Connectivity Study, we are looking at roadway network improvements, including along the thoroughfares such as Sonoya Road, Highway 74, and Highway 92, how we link those areas, how we ultimately make it safer for pedestrians to walk and travel throughout those areas. We also are looking at public transportation. Limited public transportation options are currently available. So the study looked at bus routes serving key areas, and then also looking for more comprehensively how we can grow. We looked at traffic studies that dealt with safety. Pedestrian and bicycle infrastructure was needed, existing sidewalks, bike lanes, which were insufficient and leading to safety concerns. The study makes recommendations of how to make to enhance motorized transportation. Of course, some of the key issues that were identified was traffic congestion, safety concerns, accessibility, and of course, economic impact. And with that said, we received an email this afternoon regarding some discrepancies, and we want to just speak to that and answer any questions that mayor and council may have.
Okay, let me bring the item to the floor.
steps.
Members of council, you have before you a request for mayor and council approval of the Liverboard Center's Initiative Gateway Connectivity Study Final Report. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any comments by council? Ms. Hudson, go ahead.
So we're listing in the LCI connectivity study, there are a conglomerate of projects.
Yes, ma'am.
Just want to clarify that the approval with the edits will require subsequent votes on each individual project, or is the vote tonight to approve all of those projects as a blanket approval?
So the approval tonight would be to approve the report in its substance as a conceptual vision for future growth and development. Any new projects that would come out of this would have to be approved before mayor and council individually.
That's all I have for now. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Any other member of council? Seeing none?
Yes, Mayor, I have, yes, yes.
I'm sorry, go ahead. I'm like.
Councilwoman Portis Jones, yes.
Yes, ma'am, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Ms. Abernathy, could you share with us what the edits are?
Yes, ma'am. So the first question was regarding the 28th of April, posted on the City of Fairburn's website on Wednesday, 23rd, 2025, prior to the third LCI Gateway Comp Plan meeting on Thursday, 24th, April 2025. That is the direct quote. The LCI Gateway Connectivity Study concluded on March 24th with a presentation to Mayor and Council during the work session. The final community input meeting for the study took place on February 11th. It was reported by our communications team that 900 people viewed that meeting. The meeting on Thursday, April 24th, was a part of the comprehensive plan and not the LCI connectivity study. Item 2 was slide 47, incorrectly showed Milo Fisher Park, 8 blocks away from Milo Fisher Road at Bay Street and Summerwood Road over by State Route 138. I will say all hands were on deck. We all looked at this document, and sometimes when it's several layers of review, some things are missed. And the point is, in the process of compiling the final report, there was a formatting error. So if you look at the map, when we added the context or the text, it shifted, moving the areas slightly off. So we can make that correction. In our previous maps, that error is not there. So the maps that went to the community where they had input, that error was not there. The third item is slide 57 or page 57. Introduces gentle density of 28 three-story single townhomes and 8,000 square feet commercial building at Milo Fisher and Southeast Malone Street. The introduction of single-family townhomes reflects the recommendations as outlined in the 2021 LCI Downtown Master Plan for neighborhood development, and it was presented as a part of South of Broad. So if you look at the LCI Downtown Master Plan document, South of Broad was meant to be an area developed, and townhomes was one of the diverse housings that were brought up in that study. And I think we were looking at slide 63. Slide 63, the townhomes from Cole Street, where the resident currently lived, was misidentified with, it says named item C, but it should be item A. So we need to remove that C and place an A so that it can be noted. Is there anything else?
I will say there was a comment, a comment about Milo Fisher Road being misidentified. The street changes names, and so we didn't change the name on the other side. So we can make that adjustment as well.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Okay, thank you, yes. Mhm.
Go ahead. Ms.
So thank you so much, Ms. Abernathy, for sharing the edits. I wanted those identified because this will be a public document, and I, want to make sure that we know what the final document would represent. So thank you so much for that.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much for pointing that out for us. We appreciate it.
Okay. Ms. Jones, you got any more questions?
No, sir.
Okay,
Thank you.
Does any other member of council have a question? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Aye.
That motion carries.
Thank you, Mayor and
Can
Council.
I get those changes? for
Yes, ma'am.
minutes? Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
thank you. The next item is a contract award to Construction 57 Incorporated for the Muller Street Pedestrian Improvement Project. It is a request for mayor and council approval to award the contract for the Muller Street Pedestrian Improvement Project to Construction 57 for the bid price of $570,201.
Good evening, Mayor and Council.
Good evening.
The invitation to bid for the Muller Street Pedestrian Improvement Project was advertised on May 12, 2025. The bid opening date was April 11, 2025, at which time 7 bids were received and opened and read aloud. After completion of the bid evaluation, it was determined that Construction 57 Incorporated was the lowest responsive and responsible bidder with a bid price of $570,201.00.
Members of council, you have before you the contract award to Construction 57, Inc. for Muller Street Pedestrian Improvement Project. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Motion is made by Ms. Jones. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Davis. Any questions or comments by council?
I do.
Yes, ma'am. Go ahead.
What is the detailed scope of the work for the $570,201 contract again?
So it will be pedestrian improvements on both segments of Muller Street from West Campbellton to Dodge Street and from Dodge Street to Strickland Street. And also improvements on Dodge Street where it connects with Muller Street to West Broad Street. And then add alternate one will be pedestrian lighting on Muller Street.
Are there any cost overruns anticipated based on the initial engineering reviews?
Not anticipated.
Okay. And what is the anticipated timeline for the completion of pedestrian improvements, and how will construction affect traffic or local businesses?
The allotted time frame, once we issue the notice to proceed, will be 90 days for completion of the project. Lane closure will be allowed from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m., construction from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. There will be no road closures, so traffic will maintain at all times.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other members of council? Okay. And just FYI, normally in a lot of our contracts, if a vendor, kind of following up on what Ms. Hudson just asked about, if there any reason there's not a cost overrun, if the vendor doesn't finish on time, what is the method to make sure that that is addressed? Normally, it's called liquidated damages.
Liquidated damages. Yeah, if they don't finish project within a lot of time, then we have the right to exercise liquidated damages. But that's 90 days, and that's 90 available days.
Gotcha.
So weather, holidays are not included in that, so.
Gotcha. Any other members of council? Nope. No question? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Aye.
That motion carries.
The next item is installation of electric underground infrastructure for Vickers Point subdivision. It is a request for mayor and council approval authorizing the mayor to execute an agreement between the city of Fairburn and Electric Grid Solutions for the installation of electric underground infrastructure for Vickers Point subdivision.
Good evening, esteemed mayor and council.
Good evening.
Staff recommends approval to enter into an agreement with utility contractor Electric Grid Solutions to install the electric underground infrastructure for Vickers Point single-family and multifamily housing development. The project was awarded to Electric Grid Solutions by the city of Fairburn with a winning bid of $99,638.60. Electric Grid Solutions is an approved Electric Cities of Georgia contractor and has installed similar jobs for the Alabama Electric Board, Georgia Power, the City of Lawrenceville, an ECG-affiliated city, and Alabama Power. There will be no budget impact to the city. The infrastructure, installation, and materials will be funded by the developer through residential communities. Do you have any questions?
Let me bring the item to the floor. Members of council, you have before you installation of electric underground infrastructure for Vickers Point subdivision. Is there a motion?
So moved. Second.
Motion by Mr. Smallwood, second by Mr. Heath. Any questions or comments?
Yes, I have some questions. If
Yes,
someone
ma'am.
wants to go before me, they can.
Oh, go ahead, you got the floor.
Okay, how does this project align with the city broader electric infrastructure modernization plan?
The entire infrastructure of the new development will be an underground project, therefore not leaving anything in the overhead section or any possibility of any problem.
Okay, and so has Electric Grid Solutions previously performed work for our city before? And if so, were there any performance issues or satisfactory references for them?
No, Councilwoman Hudson, they have never done a job for us, but I followed up with the Electric Cities of Georgia and spoke directly to the city of Lawrenceville's electric manager, and they were given a very high recommendation of finishing the job on time and neatly.
Thank you. If I overlooked it, please excuse me. I read a lot of the documents today. Do we know what our contract cost is and the project duration for Electric Grid Solutions?
We won't have any contract cost.
Okay,
The developer pays them directly.
I'm sorry, I'm learning. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And I think, so are we funding or no? We're funding this, right?
No, we are
Okay,
not.
cool. That's all I need to know. Thank you. And you look nice tonight.
Thank you.
Any other comments by council? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Aye.
I'm sorry, Ms. Jones, I meant to ask you, did you have any questions? I'm sorry.
No, sir.
I'm sorry about that. Next item.
The next item is discussion and vote on the release of an investigative report. This is a vote for mayor and council, and discussion for mayor and council.
Okay, I'll start it off. Ladies and gentlemen, the question is, why is this item on the agenda? For several reasons. For several council members, this item is unresolved.
Point of order. Bring the item to the floor. You cannot give a presentation before that, Mayor. Just
sorry.
bring the item to
I'm
the
sorry,
floor.
ma'am.
And we'll do that in
I'm sorry.
discussion.
You're correct.
Thank you.
I'm sorry. Members of in this case, members of council, you have an item to bring it. Can I entertain a motion to bring it to the floor?
So move.
Second.
Okay. And any questions or comments? I'll start off with why is this agenda item on the agenda? For several council members, this item is unresolved. Due to the pending status, members wanted a resolution, one way or the other. The council as a body has to determine if this item is complete or if there needs to be further deliberations or actions taken to resolve it. Since September the 9th, there's been misinformation and misstatements and allegations as to what transpired on September the 9th. Statements such as that was nothing that actually commenced, that the staff, the city administrator launched an investigation, which isn't true. What did happen, excuse me, my phone moved. What did happen, I requested an independent third party to conduct an investigation of all the events of September the 9th meeting. This again is an elected official issue, not staff. This is to be resolved by the elected body only. The agenda is to help facilitate the resolution or termination of this concern. Then, due to the inquiries by board members and some of us that we've actually appointed, members of council and residents, this issue has to be addressed and a final decision needs to be made by council. Members of council, we need to decide if we will make a motion to remove the attorney-client privilege that allows the release of the investigation report and/or a motion to leave this issue unresolved in its present state. Due to the items currently being on the attorney-client privilege, please stay cognizant of questions and answers given due to the attorney-client current privilege that is actually, it is under right now. With that being said, entertain any other members of council to ask a question.
So I'll go.
Go ahead, Mr.
I want to clarify, first of all, some clarifying questions.
Yes, ma'am.
Process authorization. Was council authorized authorization ever formally granted to investigate, to host an investigation into a sitting council member? If it was, when was the meeting date, the vote, the tally? We have on our record a file in our ordinances that no one elected member can host an investigation against another one single-handedly without the majority vote of this council. And so I thank you for admitting that you did wrong. So I don't think that you get to now legitimize wrong with a vote to release something that shouldn't have ever happened in the first place. Procedural rules and following the law of the letter seems to be a consistent practice that is going to get this body in a lot of trouble. It is totally unacceptable for the mayor, who is an elected member of this council, to instruct the city administrator, who is a staff, to reach out to a third-party law firm to investigate another elected official. That is procedurally incorrect and unethically sound. And so today, this council has the decision of not just voting for something, because now it seems like an illegitimate process will be marked legitimate with our vote. And I just think it is completely unfair. What legal authority did the mayor rely on upon to commission an investigation without council approval? Investigative standards. Was an independent third-party investigator hired, and were standard procedures for fairness and impartiality followed? I'm going to answer that it was not, according to our charter. Council member rights. Was the council member being investigated ever formally notified, given an opportunity to respond, or allowed counsel? He is entitled to that. The city attorney is not here to just represent the mayor. The city attorney is here at the pleasure of mayor and council. Cost to the city is cost to our dear taxpayers. What was the cost of the investigation to the taxpayers, and under what budgetary item was it charged? Risk of legal challenge. Has the city attorney provided a legal opinion assessing the risk and not just telling us that we are a weak council? Was this valid? Was it invalid? Where does the line of due process begin, and where does it end? Transparency and accountability. Why is the mayor seeking council approval to release the report now, rather than seeking approval to initiate it properly at the offset? Public disclosure requirements. Does the report contain information protected under personal privacy exemptions? And if so, how will those be redacted to comply with the Georgia Open Records Act? And so if we're going to sit on this council today, we're going to be completely transparent that council members are not following procedural rules when it comes to investigations and ethics complaints. It is against Georgia law to hold executive closed sessions pertaining to elected officials' ethical behavior, because the public has a right to know. On 2 occasions, council members affiliated with this body have went and made motions to go into executive session and suppress the public from freedom of information. I'll yield my time at 33 seconds.
Okay. Yes, ma'am. I just, in my efforts to respond, first of all, the request is within my authority, request for a legal opinion. Number 2, the request in this case was not to investigate a council member. The request was to request a thorough legal review of September the 9th, which included everything from start to finish. With that being said, I'm going to go. Any other member of council?
Rebut. 33 seconds, you are out of line. That is not Georgia law, and it is in total conflict, contradictory to our ordinances. Follow the law, Mayor. This is taxpayer money. You have to get a vote of the majority of this body before you enter into legal agreements outside the attorney that this council has approved to represent the city. I yield.
Mr. City Attorney, did you want to yield at all, or no? Okay, no. Okay, so go ahead. Is any other member of council? Seeing none?
Mayor.
Okay, go ahead.
The reason we're at this point in this situation is because the particular council member, the results of the actions of that particular meeting violated protocol on numerous occasions. And at that point, it was enough violations for that council member to be actually removed from this dais. That was not done. One of the things I want to compliment you on, Mayor, is that you went out to a third-party law firm to do an independent investigative study. It was extremely thorough. The attorney went and looked at the recording of the meeting. He interviewed everybody that was there, all council members, asked for their statements. Even the elected official who was out of protocol refused to make a statement. So I think everything was done properly in reference to this and this investigative report. And during this process, it came to a point where it couldn't go to the ethics board because we kept discussing it and nothing was done. But when you violate protocol, when you violate ordinances, when you disrespect your fellow colleagues, when you attempt to physical force to the mayor, something has to be done. Ownership has to be taken for those violations. And at this point, this is what we have to do.
Any other members of council?
Rebut.
I hold.
Ms. Jones, you got a question? Then I'll come back to you, Ms. Jones.
Yes, Mayor.
Go
Mayor,
ahead.
I'd like to, yes,
Okay.
thank you. Thank you so much. I
ahead.
would also like to add that following the incident of September 9th, the very next meeting, a citizen of the city of Fairburn felt it necessary to share her feelings and her surprise and disappointment at what happened. It wasn't just the council members, it was citizens, it was members of other boards and commissions who were asking what was done regarding that issue, that they felt it was very egregious. And we did put in place protocols. We are a professional body. We are the leadership of this community. Our behaviors are watched by and monitored by the community. And if we are exhibiting those behaviors, how can we ask the community to do otherwise? We have to be the leaders and we have to hold ourselves accountable for those things that we are doing inappropriately or does not comply with protocol. We put those procedures in place for times such as this. I yield.
Okay, Ms.
Wait, but
Ms. Hesson?
1 minute. It is absolutely false that procedures are in place. They are clear for the public to see. It is absolutely false that this report was correct and accurate and done well, because it has a grammatical errors all through it, and it has me being at a September 7th meeting when the meeting occurred on September 9th. When we have council members that have more of an affection for perceiving to look like this body is functioning professional because of the way you speak or your favorability toward the mayor, and not the objectability of the law or what is in writing. The procedure was not followed. Taxpayer money was spent. The mayor has been operating as a strong mayor, and he's not. And this is unacceptable behavior. It is absolutely unacceptable for council members to collude with the idea that this is happening. Thank you. I took 1 minute of my 5. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. The clock went off.
What did I stop at? Thank you.
All right, does anyone, go ahead.
I
ma'am.
yield my time to her if she'd like to speak more.
Okay.
She has more time. What did she stop?
Oh, she
I
actually-
have 4. If I run out, I'll let Mr. Whitmore go ahead.
Actually, I was coming next to, actually. Did you say she has more time? I want to make sure.
Yes, I do.
Okay, then, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Ms. Hess. I'm sorry, you still have the floor. Go ahead, ma'am.
Each.
I'm not going to use up all of my time, but I'm not going to sit here and allow senior council members to act as if this body is acting professional. The example of your unprofessional behavior was exhibited in a special call meeting with the ethics complaint that I filed against Alex.
Call to question,
No,
Mayor.
call nothing. Point
Call
of
to
order.
question,
Point
Mayor.
of order. I am speaking.
Actually, as soon as she finishes,
No.
I'm coming to a point of order. Call the question. Call the question, go ahead.
So you want to call a point of order when you're wrong, but not when you're right. So let's be clear to the public. The procedure.
Hold on,
What are we
Ms.
doing
Hudson.
here?
Ms. Hudson, I'm trying to make sure that.
Restore my time back.
Well, hold on for a minute.
Has the time stopped?
Okay, yes, the time stopped.
He didn't while she was calling.
Okay, so as it relates to proper authority, she can finish her comment and come back to call the question. Is that not accurate? Is that not good?
We on discussion. You can't, listen,
ahead,
it's
go ahead.
relevant to the argument about procedural rules. Because you don't want to hear it doesn't mean that it doesn't get
Go
talked
ahead.
about.
Hold on for a minute. Hold on for a minute.
No. If she calls for the question and get a second, then it stops.
Okay. Is there?
And don't, it's
There's a caller-
rude to
there's a caller-
interrupt me.
there's a
We're
call-
here to discuss this.
Actually, if the Robert's rule says if you have in this case, a call to question. if you have
I
a-
yield to
no,
Ms.
no,
Whitmore.
no,
Go
we have-
ahead.
Is there a second?
No.
Okay.
Opposed? No. Y'all not following the rules? No. She don't get to interrupt me while I'm talking because she don't like what I'm saying.
That has nothing to do with it.
As a senior member on this council, she ought to know better. Shame on her.
You're out of order. I'm
You
sorry.
are out of order, Mayor.
In this case, a call to
Linda's
question.
out of order.
A call to question was made in a second. All in favor say
Who
aye.
seconded?
Aye.
Mr. Hughes.
Of course.
All in favor say aye.
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 Okay. All opposed?
Opposed.
That motion carries. Okay, as a result of, through Robert's Rules of Order, ladies and gentlemen, as a result of
It was a distraction.
as a result.
So
of
I
Robert's Rules-
oppose. Oppose.
That's
My
fine.
put
That's
oppose.
fine.
Three
That's fine.
opposed.
In this
Two
case,
opposed.
item-
There's 3 opposed on the floor.
and I break the tie.
Okay.
Okay, so in this case, the motion carries. So in this case, Robert's Rules of Order says, as a result of a call to question, now we actually have to go to the vote. That's Robert's Rules of Order. Members of council.
The vote for what,
Now, here's the
Mayor?
question. I need a motion.
Who is a
I
parliamentarian?
move.
Somebody run the meeting, because I'm tired of you stumbling over every
Mayor.
word, every meeting.
Ms. Hudson,
I
you can talk.
move
Okay, go ahead.
that we release the investigative report.
How you gonna move to do something and this man haven't even spoken? It's in
I
discussion.
second.
Follow
I
procedural
second.
rules.
Ms. Hudson, I need you to be quiet.
This is the
I'm asking
culture
you-
of corruption.
I'm asking you to be
This is
quiet.
what you
or I'm
want.
asking
You can't
I'm-
act- you
I'm
gonna do
ask
what?
you to remove.
Another
I'm gonna
threat?
ask- I'm gonna
Another
ask you to
threat?
remove. You're out of order. You're
You are out of order,
you're
sir.
disturbing our meeting. I'm asking you to
It
be
is
quiet.
not,
I'm asking you-
it doesn't leverage to a threat of being removed.
No, I'm asking you again, would you please?
Do the procedure right on
Would you
this
please?
We have
diocese,
a motion.
and so that we can move
A
forward.
motion on the floor, and it's been properly seconded. Now, I have a question in this case. I have a question in this case. There's a motion on the floor. It's been seconded. I have the right to, and I'll ask, is there any comment? In this case, Mr. Whitmore, go ahead, sir.
Thank you, Mayor. First of all, let me correct the record and state that, yes, there was a citizen that spoke up as well against what happened. But of course, my colleague didn't mention that, but that's okay, because my colleague also didn't mention that she was involved in the altercation. But that's for another story for another day.
Okay.
But what I would like to read, Mayor, is my statement.
Yes, sir.
Once again, the mayor has showed a blatant disregard for proper governance and the trust of our taxpayers. Despite claiming to know the rules of engagement, the mayor allowed the city administrator to hire an outside attorney using taxpayers' dollars to conduct an illegal and unnecessary investigation. This action is not only irresponsible, it is a clear attempt to bypass the established system designed to handle such matters, the Ethics Board, whose members are fairly appointed by each elected official to ensure impartiality and accountability. Ignoring this legitimate and transparent process in favor of a backroom tactics is a betrayal of the public trust. Taxpayer money should be spent protecting the interests of the community, not funding politically motivated investigations that serve only to undermine our institution. Our residents deserve leadership that respects the law, honors ethical standards, and puts the community first, not leadership that acts in its own self-interest. All this because I ask questions relevant to the budget process, which started in August of last year. And to this date, I still have not received any answers as an elected official of this body to any of my questions. None of them. On top of that, I just heard my colleague say for the record, and I'm glad she said it for the record, she said that I was trying to do physical force to the mayor. That's right, citizens, we're talking about me. But what they're not talking about is what happened from August all the way up to that meeting. I asked you to go back and look at the tapes of all the meetings. Mark down the questions that I asked and see if any question was answered prior to the vote of the new budget. I yield to say, no, that did not happen. And the reason it didn't happen is because there were things going on that this administration did not want our public to hear and know. I have the report in hand. It was an illegal investigation, and I asked the question, how much did we pay this outside attorney to investigate me when we have a process in place that we did not follow? It's a very simple question, and it deserves an answer. Ladies and gentlemen, I ask you, ask the mayor that question. Ask the city administrator that question. Ask the attorney the question. I have a colleague sitting on the other end that stated, I did not lunge at the mayor. So now you have conflicting information. The mayor pushed it, the city attorney pushed it, the city administrator pushed it. All three were lies. I have all the documents. Go look for yourself.
Okay. Mr. Heath, you had a comment?
Well, the thing that I just had to add to it is that, you know, we as elected officials, we have a code of ethics that we need to follow also. And it's just a simple thing as And here again, I know that there's somebody down there with a smile on their face.
See, once again, point of order.
Point of order, sir.
That's
I need you-
intimidation and
I
that's
need you-
harassment.
Sir, I need you to.
That's
say something.
intimidation and that's harassment. You ain't learned yet, sir?
Go ahead, sir, please.
Ma'am, you.
Mind your business. That's intimidation and harassment. Why is this man in an open meeting addressing me? Make your comments. Police, he needs to be addressed. He's aggressive.
Sir, I'm asking you to please continue your comments toward the audience. Thank you, sir. To your audience.
And to me, what took place on the September the 9th was conduct unbecoming. And you've got to have some way of taking control in a council meeting and everything to where people are not faced with the possibility of physical harm coming to them, just to be honest with you. And I heard that a officer that was told not to put their hands on him. And I'm thinking to myself, the whole time I'm thinking, now you are an elected official and you are a representative of our government. Why would you do such a thing? But like I say, those things are water under the bridge, so to speak, and I personally was fearful something was going to happen that night myself. That's all. Thank you.
Ms. Jones, do you have any comments? I can't see you.
Mayor, I have my hand up.
I'm sorry,
You can't
sir.
see Ms. Jones, but I'm sitting right here.
I'm sorry, sir. Go ahead.
Thank you. You know, here we go again. Here we go again with continuous lies. So the comment that was made, "Get your hands off of me," was directed at my colleague, Mr. Smallwood, because his misinterpretation of what he thought I was going to do. I was walking towards the mayor to continue a conversation. Also, a fellow colleague indicated once they read my response to what the city administrator sent out with the legal opinion coming from this attorney pushed by the mayor, he actually said now he understood. Because guess what? None of my other colleagues were asking the questions that I was asking about the budget. They just sat there. Doesn't that make you want to ask a question? What is it that this administration did not want to let out? And it came out, didn't it? It came out after the budget was approved, where you had 3 senior people that was given raises, substantial raises. So that leans even back to the September meeting, because now you see the actions that took place after the fact. All they had to do was answer the questions. I'm an elected official. Every time I ask for something, I should receive it. But this mayor goes and asks a legal opinion of this attorney who says, I am not entitled to it. I need to go through open record process. Unheard of. I communicated with 8 mayors throughout this state, and they could not believe that this mayor responded that way. They couldn't even believe that the city attorney actually gave that type of response. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not hiding anything. I heard 2 of my colleagues down there say the same thing, which was a lie, and it's a shame. And if you want to talk about ethical conduct, then let's talk about another colleague. Let's talk about the more recent one with the way Mr. Heath was conducting himself, and he also exhibited the same thing here tonight against the same council person. You're talking about ethics? For real? For real? We are really at a low point here in the city of Fairburn. And it's not going to end until we have people that sit up on this dais that's going to look at things and be serious about it and start asking the questions. I don't think anybody, I'll ask the city administrator, did anybody up on this dais ask you questions about the increased salaries? I brought it up. I know you don't have to answer that. 'Cause I know if they did, they came to you silently. Not the way the mayor does and call everybody individually to make sure they're on the same page as him. Come on, ladies and gentlemen, let's be real. This mayor is not operating the way he should be operating. This dais is not operating the way it should be operating. You get false legal opinions from an attorney, but guess what his out is? It's his legal opinion. But we still have to follow the state law, which the mayor has violated.
In this case, go ahead, Ms. Davis, and then.
I think I have a couple of more minutes. This is to our citizens. As elected officials, we can ask appropriate questions of anything that goes on in the operational part of this city. That's what we're here for. We're here to be your voice. We're here to see what's going on operationally, and when we get reports, we can ask any question that we have on our mind. But there's a way to do it. In our ordinance and our protocol, there's respect. There's nothing wrong with disagreeing. I mean, that's part of democracy. You can debate, you can disagree, but there's a proper way to do it. When you ask a question of an administrator and you share what your story is or what your issues are, you have a right to do that. That's not what the question here. And when the administrator tries to respond, you're interrupting, you're cutting them off, you're being disrespectful. And you say, and this may not be verbatim, but you say you're going to act like Congress act. So you'll continue to interrupt the administrator while they are trying to answer your probing questions, which you have a right to ask. But there is protocol. There's respect. And if you're going to act like Congress, that's, to me, in my opinion, that's not a level that you should aspire to act like. So I am talking to the citizens of Fairburn. We were elected by you. We represent you in every area that we go, and we carry our tags, our name, and say we are a council member of the city of Fairburn. And we need to do that with professionalism and with respect. It's not an issue about debating. We're not going to agree on everything. That's why 6 of us up here. But we have to respect one another. Yelling, calling names, interrupting, and saying you're going to act like a member of Congress of these United States of America? Please.
All right, with it.
Rebuttal, Mayor?
We have to do better. We have to do better. And we have done better. We have done better.
Go ahead, sir, and then we're going to take the vote.
Thank you, Mayor.
I still have time.
Oh.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, sir.
Thank you, Mayor. And again, I say unto you, even as an elected official, we have a freedom of speech. And, you know, I did make the statement about Congress, but guess what's being exhibited here in the city of Fairburn? Disinformation. I heard it from 2 of my colleagues, okay? And I heard one state that I said that to the officers, which was directed at one of my colleagues. On top of that, we had a citizen that came to that podium and talked about the lady that Hattie Portis-Jones, Councilwoman Hattie Portis-Jones, talked about. I have received numerous calls from the citizens in Fairburn. I've been on this council for 9 years, and for 9 years, you have not seen any deviation of my demeanor, manner, or anything else. But I'll ask you, if you sat up here and you were asking questions of staff, city administrator, even the attorney, and couldn't get a straight answer, except for I was eating before I came here, I'll be eating when I leave. Also trying to intimidate me, standing down there saying, you don't intimidate me. I said, who are you talking to? You don't intimidate me either. So now we have a legal representative of the bar that is acting that way. And my colleagues down there are talking about me. It's really, truly amazing. Truly amazing. And all you got to do is go back and look at the tapes. You watch the mayor. Listen to him stuttering through. Listen to him not being able to articulate because he did not have control. We really didn't have a parliamentarian.
Your time is up, sir. And Ms. Hudson, and then I'll speak, and then we'll finish. Go ahead, Ms.
How
Hudson.
many minutes I got?
Sorry, Ms.
I didn't use all my minutes.
Yeah,
You
go,
haven't used any on this one.
go ahead, Ms. Go ahead, you got 5, and then I'll go to Ms. Jones, and then I'll speak, and then we'll take a vote.
So I'm not gonna use all 5.
Okay.
They need to reserve them. Listen, when it comes to our roles as council members, it is very clear in our charter. All of this is politics. Now wanting to release a report because we're in an election season and there's aspirations for re-elections here. But I want to give the citizens some hard-earned truth. Council members are not acting and governing according to the law. That's problematic. Debate me all you want with your pleas for professionalism, and the falsehood and the spirit of it is hypocritical. Critical legal and major procedural violations. Georgia Open Meetings Act, OCG 5014-1, requires full council authorization for investigations involving elected officials. Take it at the black and white. Don't believe Councilwoman Hudson. Read it for yourself. City Charter, Fairburn Investigation Authority involving council members must be authorized by a full council vote, not unilaterally by the mayor. Due process rights. A council member has the right to be informed and participate in the proceedings concerning allegations or reports about them. Ethic rules. Without council approval to initiate the investigation, any report generated lacks official standing and could expose this city to litigation. There's too much clique culture and concern about your feelings about what you like or don't like about individuals. And the work that defines this city is going undone because we all are not on the same page. I have heard, this is year 2 now, I don't have a right for public records. And tonight on the record, I'm calling the attorney a liar, the mayor a liar, a liar. It's not, no, you cannot stop me from saying lies, sir.
Why are you calling?
You are a liar, you are, sir, no, it's freedom of speech, Mayor. You cannot violate my constitutional right. I have the, yield my time, because he's not gonna waste my time. You have violated my constitutional right. You started this fight, and so we're gonna fight fair. We're gonna fight what's legal and what's right and what's in black and white. Put your feelings aside, you're wrong. You have lied in black and white, and I'm gonna prove it to this community that you're a liar.
Okay, thank you.
Listen, I'm not done. You don't take my time away from me. You are a liar. You're a documented liar. The city attorney is a documented, Mayor. You are out of order.
Yeah, well, I'm asking you to refrain from.
You cannot, if you can't.
We're debating. We're debating.
Sir, I can say what I want to say. You can't control the words out of my mouth. I'm not threatening you.
No, go ahead. I'm gonna let you finish, and then we're gonna.
I'm not harassing you.
Go ahead. Finish your comment.
How many minutes do I have, sir? Because he used up a lot.
Yeah.
That don't
You got
count.
2 minutes. You got 2 minutes.
You got me? Okay, thank you. When I say lie, it's documented proof that you have not been forthcoming with this city and with this council. And with council members constantly consenting your behavior, they have considered this city into a legal frog as well as themselves. And this city will know in the upcoming weeks the depth of the deception and the depth and the consequences that this will have on our city. I don't sit here on this dais and I don't sit here to play. I do not take this job lightly at all, but I will not be disgraced by senior members of this governing body who wish to silence me with the truth. If you are going to tell a public lie, then I'm going to tell the truth publicly. And as far as I'm concerned, if lying was a sport, you would be a world champion. I yield at 1 minute and 30 seconds.
Okay. Members of council, Ms. Jones, did you have anything you want to say?
I'll call for the question.
Okay. In this case, members of council, we call for question. In this case, a question.
Second.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Aye.
Opposed.
Opposed.
That motion carries. So
Mayor, I think you need to count that.
he said three. Did he not vote? Mr.
Opposed?
Opposed, yeah. 3, 1, 2, and 3. Council, all in favor say aye. In this case, 2. And then Ms. Jones, what's your vote?
Yes.
Okay, so in this case, I'm the tiebreaker. So in this case, motion carries. So at this point, I'm now asking for a vote on the item that was actually brought forward. I mean, the motion that was made by Ms. Davis.
What was that motion, Mayor?
That motion was second and already. Ms. James, would you read that item? Did you get the motion that was?
Yeah, the motion was to release the investigative report. Motion by Ms. Davis, second by Ms. Jones.
Okay. All in favor, say aye.
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 All opposed?
Opposed.
That motion carries. Next item.
Mayor, you voting in favor?
I'm voting in favor.
Next item is the city administrative monthly report.
Good evening. The City Administrative Report was submitted as part of the agenda. It is a 20-page report this month with individual department reports from all operating departments in the city. There are several positive strides that were attained during the month of March, including the comprehensive plan with over 1,400 views online. Economic development attended the National Grocers Association. The new Station 23 on Milam Road is nearing completion. And that will conclude my summary. The report has previously been provided. Mayor, I will conclude with that statement.
Okay. That's your city, okay? In this case, I'll go to city council comments.
Excuse me, Mayor. Where's the financial report of the city?
The financial report is pending. We have a current vacancy in the financial director's position. We had conducted interviews for that position last week and are narrowing down to a final candidate. In the interim, we have consulted with our previous finance director, and he has provided consulting services to ensure that our financial stability continues. All daily operations are moving forward, and so the financial report will be at the next meeting.
So, question?
Yes, sir.
So when did we bring him on as a consultant?
I believe that was last Monday.
Last Monday? And we're a week later, and he didn't have time to review any of what was going on, especially when you had the assistant city administrator kind of running the finance department?
So he is consulting on a part-time basis, and so no, he has not had time to completely review and help to assemble that report. He's simultaneously working on multiple issues for the city, and the report will be available at the next meeting.
Then my other question would be, we belong to a large organization called Georgia Municipal. Okay, did we go through them to look for an interim that would physically be here? We are a multi-million-dollar city, which we deserve to have someone physically in the city looking over everything.
We did not.
GMA, did we go to GMA?
We did not. And vacancies are a normal part of city operations with over 200 employees. They often happen frequently. We have an efficient recruiting and staffing process. Interviews have already been conducted. Candidates have already been identified, and we expect to make an offer shortly.
So I would say, Mr. Phillips, and I'll say this for the record, you're a multi-million-dollar company, even having the previous finance director has been gone, what, 3 weeks, a month?
Roughly.
3 weeks a month?
Approximately.
And we just conducting interviews. So we have gone a long period of time without having proper oversight over one of the biggest departments that's responsible for the taxpayers' money.
So there are multiple oversight opportunities. So as you know, with the previous finance director, when they were hired, this is the same process, Councilman Whitmore. Nothing has changed since when Director Peterson left, when Director Stevens left. It's the same process. We have continued daily operations without disruption. The city is solid financially. There is nothing that is amiss. All daily operations have continued uninterrupted, and we expect to fill that position shortly.
So in actuality, there is some things in the midst. And I think that this council should be afforded the opportunity to hear about those things, which I did not bring, or did I bring with me? So again, this is a continued demonstration of not being being upfront and honest, even with this board, Mr. Mayor.
Okay.
Even with this board. So what I'm being told is that you are quite aware of everything that's being done on that side.
Yes.
Right? So let me ask you a couple of questions if you're willing to answer. From the financial side, are you aware that, let me find it. So we have bills that have to go to the IRS. You're aware of that, right, Mr. Mayor?
That's correct.
Okay. Are you aware that 1099s need to be done?
We're working.
Are you aware that we're doing it manually versus electronically? And because we're doing it that way, are you aware that we have been fined $20,000?
Actually, Mr. Whitmore, we covered a fine from the IRS for the previous, what was that, 60 grand?
Yeah, for the
But
previous
the previous administration twice.
Okay, so now what we're talking about, Mr. Mayor, we're talking about current administration. Now you're going back.
You know, just say, but
You have to accept responsibility for now. We can't go back to Mayor Hurst.
All right, sir. Go ahead. Go ahead. You got the floor, sir. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Let you finish.
That's amazing.
Let you finish.
So, so yes, that's happening, okay? Let's see. Food purchases. We had an employee that couldn't afford lunch. It was brought up to the city administrator's desk, and they buying lunch for everybody. And that's taxpayers' money again, Mr. Mayor. Are you aware of that?
Mr. Whitmore, again.
I'm asking a direct question for the record, Mr. Mayor.
I'm sure it was done within the protocol. That was just leave it.
I'm not sure what reference you're making.
Well, ask Ms. Chris. It was authorized by her.
Yeah, so.
I want to see that protocol.
So what you're speaking of, sir, is in reference to our General Services Department. They were actually hosting a training, and it was not because employees couldn't afford food. I will tell you, I have personally purchased food on several occasions for our employees. But this was an annual training that Ms. Gail Higgs holds in conjunction with the Utilities Department.
And I would venture to say that is not 100% true. And I would ask Mr. City Administrator to have the files pulled of how many food purchases were made from the beginning of this administration, showing that it's not just for one department. It's corrupt throughout the city.
There's no corruption.
There's no corruption, Mr. Whitmore.
Okay. Was it, again, Mr. Mayor, Mr. Mayor, can I finish, Mr. Mayor?
Yeah, go ahead.
You said, Mr. Mayor, that you have been aware of all this, okay? I only asked 2. I have 4 pages.
Okay.
4 pages, Mr. Mayor, which also states that this body is not fully aware of what's really going on, because there's things that is being kept from this body, Mr. Mayor.
Okay.
That's all I'm saying to you. And yet and still, we can sit here and we can act like nothing is going on. You got people that receive overabundance of raises, all right? And that question was asked, and to this date, no response. Mr. City Administrator, I would like a computerized printout from finance of every salary, starting with senior management going down.
Your time is up.
With the date of when they arrived and the date of the.
Your time.
Follow up.
Your time is up. Okay, and it's.
My,
Go ahead. Ms. Jones, and then.
yes.
Go ahead.
Mayor? Yes.
Yeah, this is 2 minutes. Yes.
What we doing? We still addressing the monthly report.
Go ahead, Ms. Jones.
I got you.
Go ahead, Ms. Jones, and then we'll come back.
So the thing I want to say is, if we have employees who cannot afford to buy lunch, then we need to evaluate the raises, and we need to provide appropriate salary increase.
Agreed.
And if we need to raise funds among ourselves so that we can feed our employees, to hear that there is an employee who is hungry and cannot afford to buy themselves lunch, then we need to do something about that. And I, as of this moment, Mayor, please, I'm asking HR to take $100 a month from the salary that I receive to provide lunch for any employee who cannot afford lunch. The fact that we are having this discussion is unconscionable. So, for the record, please take $100 per month from my salary to provide lunch for the employees. I yield.
Okay. And then we'll go.
First of all, we can't do that. That's commingling. We can get down to the nitty-gritty and get the salaries, just like Councilman Whitmore have asked and I have asked since the budget process, because there is very clear evidence that there has been increased salaries and promotions of salaries and new members coming into the city whose salaries totally outweigh those who were existing employees here. That's facts. For the record, salaries are public knowledge. Salaries are reported to our Revenue Department, Georgia Department of Revenue. Every citizen is eligible and have the right to see how your tax dollar is being spent. Every salary, all the way down to a contractor, contracts, what we spend, our expense reports, our P cards, you're entitled to all of that. And so I don't think the solution is a council member taking money out. If they want to risk the ethics complaint with commingling funds, then, hey, I won't get in the way of that. But I have asked for ARPA information. April 30th is the deadline for cities to provide how those funds were spent, utilized, and if there are funds still available, how those funds will be used. I, with the support of Councilwoman Jones a year ago, supported me having a list of the approved contracts by council. This administration now, public, a year, still have not provided that information. You continuously hear the same thing over and over again about the lack of transparency. And it's not a debate, it's true. It is true. No one wants to spend their time constantly asking for things and not getting it. The scope of this work requires that you know the past, the present, and where we're going in the future. And as a council member, I duty myself with understanding the historical, financial, and economic viability of Fairburn, where Fairburn began, where Fairburn started moving in its growth, and where Fairburn is now in the move forward. That is my expertise as a public administrator. But what I find very difficult is to be a part of a body who don't realize that real conflict resolution is needed right now, that regardless of what you like about an individual, let's not covert or covert things that are not right. I have a righteous indignation that's in me, and that some of the things that I wish not to even be bothered with, I'm unable to stray away from, because I understand what my role is here on council, and I take that very seriously. And so I'm going to ask that the city administration make sure that council has all the information for ARPA, especially me. I asked for invoices for ARPA. It is just very strange when I'm getting phone calls from other officials in other areas who aren't elected about the request for ARPA. Do you know about how your ARPA funds were used? And I don't know anything. I don't want to be unprepared or ill-prepared to make decisions for our constituents. And so it is to the duty of this administration to make sure that we have this. Now to the city attorney, I've been here 2 years, and we've had numerous litigations, numerous settlements and claims and lawsuits. There's been no executive session to update us on those lawsuits, claims paid out. Today, any new lawsuits coming in, EEOC complaints, those things are very important for this body to know as we assess risk and liability. We cannot effectively measure risk management without having the right reporting structures in place, without having the right processes in place that we can be able to fairly and accurately measure our systems and the efficiency of our services here in the city of Fairburn. I yield there.
All right. Thank you. So with that being said, let me go to council comments now. I'll just go from right to left, and then I come to Ms. Jones. Go ahead, Mr. Whitmore.
To the citizens of Fairburn, you heard a lot of
No.
You ready, Mike?
To the citizens of Fairburn, you heard a lot of conversation tonight about various topics. I'm not running or hiding from anything. I'll give anybody the report. I have it. I have comments that I made on the reports. And for those that have reached out to me, numerous ones of you, thank you for reaching out and thank you for your support. All I want to say is that everything that is being articulated from me is truth. I have no reason to lie. I have proven to you where there has been lies that were shared, and even two was identified even here tonight, which were outright lies. And that's fine, because the truth will always prevail. And you know what? The bottom line is this. I've been on council for 9 years, haven't missed but one council meeting. And if you have one council meeting where finally everything bubbled up because of the lack of transparency, giving you the things that you have been asking for, that you have been receiving the whole time you've been on council, now all of a sudden it's a legal opinion asked from the mayor to the city attorney, and now we're being refused, which is against the law. Because as an elected official, I don't have to go and ask for open records. All I have to do is ask. And that's the way it always has been. But with this administration, that has changed. So I'm not going to sit up here and act like everything is peachy cream. It's not. It is not. It is not. Thank you for your time and understanding, and I yield.
Thank you. So as we have considered item 7, the release of the investigative report, we must pause to reflect not only on the report itself, but the very process that produced it. The investigation at issue was initiated without any formal approval from this council. No vote was taken, no authorization was granted, and no public record supports the mayor's unilateral decision to investigate a sitting council member. This violates the fundamental principles of governance laid out in the city charter, Georgia law, and basic standards for due process. Documents attached to tonight's record include the mayor's revealing and troubling pattern of accusations that have been constantly coming before us about the behavior of council members who are speaking up and asking for information. Meanwhile, communication with the city clerk show that requests for transparency, including lawful access to meeting records, were improperly denied and met with resistance rather than compliance. Now we are being asked to legitimize this report of a procedural tainted process by voting to release this report. It was voted upon by members of this council who consistently avoid procedural rules. To do so would continue to expose the city to potential legal liability. Let me be clear. An unlawful process cannot yield a lawful result. If we believe in the rule of law, then we must reject any action born of abuse of power, no matter how uncomfortable it may be. So I'm urging my fellow council members to set aside your personal feelings about Councilwoman Hudson, to stand on the side of transparency, accountability, and procedural integrity, and making sure that we staunch out corruption.
Mr. Davis?
Yes, Mayor, I have two things quickly. For our citizens, you now have access to the investigative report. I encourage you to read it and determine for yourself. The second thing I have is Georgia Municipal Association has a weatherization assistance program here in Georgia. I know we talked about the one nationally, but I will give this information to our administration so you can put it on our website. It's income-based, and they will come in and weatherize your complete home with no cost to you if you are if you are eligible for it. And it's with the Georgia Environmental Finance Authority. Thank you.
Okay. Mr. Heath?
No comment.
Mr. Smallwood?
No comment.
Ms. Jones?
Yes, I just want to say congratulations to Ms. Layla Foote, one on her graduation from Kennesaw State, and for participating in the police department as an intern. Internships are very invaluable. And I am glad that we as a city are participating in exposing the youth to the various operations of the city. I'd also like to thank the citizens for their participation in the comp plan event on the 24th. It was well attended, and the citizens were really engaged in providing feedback and guidance on the things that should be included in our comp plan. I'd also like to congratulate Ms. Brookings and the Department of Planning for the Art in the Alley event. It was also well attended, and the art is just super fantastic. And it just, it's very uplifting and engaging and a beautification of our city. So thanks all to that. And then lastly, I'd like to call for a class and comp study to review the salaries of the employees. It is truly unconscionable that we have employees who cannot afford to buy themselves lunch. That is totally unacceptable. So we must proceed to correct that and to do something about it. And with that, I yield. Thank you.
Okay. And members of the public, I just want to say, first of all, without debating, going back and forth, first of all, our chart is pretty clear. This is a strong mayor form of government, unlike other than the city of Atlanta. So there's things that afforded the mayor's office in this government in the city of Atlanta that is unlike any other government in the metro area. A lot of information as it relates to corruption and integrity. Ladies and gentlemen, we've had several council meetings where in June of last year, I believe, where we actually, several members of this body actually stood in and actually pointed out the misrepresentation over and over again. And so I won't go back and forth with that, but here's my position. It's simple. The staff has gone beyond the call of duty. Our staff is being recruited by folk everywhere because of the job that's being done. Yes, again, this is an election season, so this is unfortunately what happens, not just in this government, but when it's all said and done, ladies and gentlemen, we still got to live here, and I'm very proud of the things that the city of Fairburn has done. I want to thank everybody that came to our concert last 2 Fridays ago. Awesome event, ability for us to come together where, again, every third Friday. I want to also mention Ms. Jones already talked about the comp plan. Thank you for your input with the comp plan. Turnout was just unbelievable. So again, as this administration continues to move forward, the proof is in the pudding. Look at the road improvement. Look at all the projects and stuff that's coming out of the ground. And again, as a person that's a compliance administrator over another government, in this case, if you found criminal activity, I invite you to present it publicly and take it to a lawyer, so that way you can prosecute me. If it's true, I know it's not. And so my position is say when. And so with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, can I entertain a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carries.